Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at the differences between external CSS versus what we call inline CSS. And, the textbook, as you know, right, has some pages, some sections on using inline CSS. Now, let me tell you, while you can do it, right, you can include, right, inline CSS in your HTML markup, it is not recommended and not really allowed. Well, not really allowed, but it's not allowed to be used in CTEC 122. You may want to use it quickly to test something out in your markup, but again, for the purposes of this class, you are to place all of your CSS in an external style sheet. And by now, you're all pretty familiar with the template.css file that we've created and the template.html file that we've created. One holds the structure, right? That's the HTML page, and one holds the presentation. That's the CSS. Now, it is important, though, to know, right, and I'm going to show you some markup that I made here, right, how inline CSS works. Okay, so you can see here I have a paragraph of text in my content div, and it happens to read my favorite author, right? Mark Twain wrote The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. That's my line of text. However, in the middle here, right, I wanted Mark Twain. I wanted the style of the text, right, Mark Twain, to have a different color, right, than the rest of the paragraph. And the way I did that was to place a span tag, right? Here's the opening span tag, and here's the closing span tag. And notice that I included something here called style equals, right? This stuff, right here, that goes in your style sheet. However, when you use inline CSS, right, this is how it's placed inside of a tag. You put the style attribute and then the value, the properties and values of your CSS. Okay? So there's that. And that's all well and good, but there's a better way to do that, and the way you should do it, right? And that's to replace that inline CSS with something that you know by now, the ID tag, right? The ID tag, and I'm just going to make sure in my CSS here I created, favorite author. There it is. I am going to write here favorite author. Now, just a quick reminder, IDs can only be used once, right? I cannot have another span tag somewhere where I have ID equals favorite author, because IDs refer to a single thing, right? A single tag, right? Classes, however, allow you to use the style definition over and over and over again. Did I say over and over again? Well, you can, okay? So now I just saved my markup here, and I should see the same exact results as we saw before. Launch in Firefox. Hey, it's still blue. And I made my life easier because I took the style information, right, and I placed it in the style sheet rather than making it in line. Okay? Another thing that I want to show you here is something where again, I'm going to use a span. So let me go over to here and create. Actually, let's just do this. Let's make the title here. Right? Did I put the definition here? Let's see. No, actually, yeah, there it is. Title. Okay. So now I'm going to make the title, right? The title of the book right here. I'm going to enter a span tag. Okay. And I'm going to close the span tag over here. Okay, span, right? All good there. Now, again, I'm going to use an ID because I want to show you one more ID. I'll do classes in a second, right? And I'm going to put title because that's the ID, right? That's the definition that I provided in my style sheet right here. See? Pound title. Okay? So I will save this again, and I will launch in Firefox. Look at that! The text, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, are now underlined. Exactly what I expected it to do. And again, I didn't embed any CSS inside of my markup. Again, I can't tell how many times. Don't do it, okay? Okay. So let's do one more example with classes, and then you can carry on. So now I'm just going to type another paragraph. I'm going to close the paragraph, and I'm going to type the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy white dog. Okay? Now, what happens, all right, not what happens, how would I make this paragraph, let's say, centered, right? How would you make it centered? And how would you color it, the text, blue, right? So if I go to my CSS here, look, I've created, right, a class definition here, dot blue centered text. And it has the property, text align, and the value center, and the color, and a value of blue. Okay? So let's do that. Blue centered text. Notice it's a class. It's not an ID. Okay? Whoops. I always do that. Let's go here. And now let's put in, right, instead of ID, right, what are we going to put? Class equals, what was it? Blue centered text. Okay? I'll save that. Again, what's going to happen? It's going to be blue and it's going to be centered. So I'm just going to go to Firefox here and refresh the page that we're working on. And look at that. It placed a centered paragraph right here and it made it blue. Okay? You got that? Now, to take this discussion just a little bit further, imagine a site like Facebook.com, right? Now, imagine if they had used inline CSS on the thousands of pages that make up Facebook.com, right? So if I go in, well, I'm not going to go into Facebook, but you know that blue banner on top of Facebook. So if they were to have used inline CSS, those poor developers there would have to go to every single page on Facebook and change the color from blue, and now Mark Zuckerberg, I guess, liked purple, to purple, right? Nope, don't need to do that because we have the power, right, of separating our style from our structure using style sheets. So what would the web developer have to do? They would have to go into the style sheet, change the blue to purple, and they're done. Just like that. All right, hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and we'll talk to you soon.